at the very beginning of 2012. That's when I went to do some crazy shows.
Stevie Nicks, the enchanting voice behind Fleetwood Mac's timeless hits, is often celebrated for her ethereal presence and evocative lyrics. However, behind her success lies a story marked by personal struggles and pain. From battles with addiction to tumultuous relationships and health issues, Nicks's journey has been fraught with challenges that have left her fans heartbroken. To know more about the difficulties that Stevie Nicks had to go through, watch this video until the end. When talking about Stevie Nicks's life, we cannot ignore two important characters in her life. Her parents, Barbara and Jess Nicks, were typical young newlyweds of the time. Jess was a corporate executive, a profession that often required the family to move, while Barbara was a homemaker, dedicated to raising their children and managing the household. This combination of stability and frequent relocations will later influence Stevie's adaptability and resilience. From an early age, music played a significant role in Stevie's life, thanks to her grandfather, Aaron Nicks. Aaron was an aspiring country music singer with dreams of making it big. Recognizing Stevie's potential, he began teaching her to sing when she was just 4 years old. He even went as far as building a guitar for her, nurturing her musical talents and involving her in his local music gigs. These early experiences with her grandfather not only fostered her love for music, but also instilled in her the confidence to perform in front of an audience. Stevie's first taste of performing came during a 6th-grade talent show, where she delivered a successful tap dance routine. This experience was a revelation for young Stevie, igniting a desire to become a performer. Her path to stardom, however, was still unfolding as she attended Menlo Atherton High School in Northern California. It was here that a fateful encounter occurred in 1966, which would shape the rest of her life. At a party during her high school years, Stevie came across Lindsey Buckingham, a classmate who was singing and playing guitar. On a whim, Stevie joined him, harmonizing spontaneously. Although this initial meeting didn't lead to immediate collaboration, it planted the seeds for a future partnership. 2 years later, Lindsey contacted Stevie out of the blue, inviting her to join his band, Fritz. Stevie's addition to Fritz marked the beginning of a significant chapter in her musical journey. The band found moderate success, opening for iconic acts like Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, and Santana. This exposure to the vibrant music scene of the late 1960s and early 1970s provided invaluable experience for Stevie, both as a performer and as a songwriter. During this time, her relationship with Lindsey deepened, both personally and professionally, setting the stage for their future endeavors. Despite the success they enjoyed with Fritz, the band eventually disbanded in 1971. However, Stevie and Lindsey's partnership remained strong. They decided to continue their musical journey together, forming the duo Buckingham Nicks. This new project allowed them to explore their artistic ambitions more freely and develop a sound that was distinctly their own. Within 2 years of forming Buckingham Nicks, Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham were signed by Polydor Records, a significant milestone in their burgeoning careers. Their debut, self-titled album was released in 1973. Despite their high hopes, the album went largely unnoticed, according to biography. However, it wasn't entirely ignored. Its cover became a topic of conversation. The couple appeared nude from the waist up, marking the first time a music duo appeared topless on an LP cover, as noted by Fleetwood Mac News, which quoted a 2014 eBay listing of images from the photo shoot. The story behind this controversial cover is further explored in Stephen Davis's biography, Gold Dust Woman: The Biography of Stevie Nicks. According to Davis, the photo shoot was fraught with tension. When Nicks was asked to remove her blouse, she initially refused. Buckingham reacted angrily, insisting that this was a necessary artistic statement. "This is art!" he exclaimed, throwing a fit until Nicks reluctantly complied. She later hid the album, refusing to show it to her father, indicating her discomfort with the situation. This incident was not an isolated one, but part of a pattern of behavior that would see Nicks often giving in to Buckingham's demands, reflecting the complex and sometimes tumultuous dynamics of their relationship. Despite their artistic efforts, the album's lack of commercial success left the couple in a precarious financial situation. Buckingham continued to focus on his music, driven by his passion and ambition. Meanwhile, Nicks took on a variety of jobs to support them, demonstrating her unwavering commitment and resilience. She worked as a dental assistant, maid, and waitress, among other roles. In a 1994 interview with the Island Ear, Nicks recounted, "I worked at the Copper Penny, Clementine's, and Bob's Big Boy. I supported Lindsay and I for years." Her willingness to work these demanding jobs underscored her dedication to their partnership and her belief in their musical potential. In 1975, Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham finally received the recognition they deserved when they were invited to join Fleetwood Mac. This pivotal moment came when Mick Fleetwood, the band's drummer, called the couple on New Year's Eve. He invited them to dinner, marking the beginning of a new chapter in their musical careers. At the time, Buckingham and Nicks were already immersed in working on their second album. Buckingham, in particular, was not enthusiastic about the prospect of joining another band, preferring to focus on their duo's efforts. Nicks shared similar reservations, mainly due to the presence of Christine McVie, who was already an established member of Fleetwood Mac, alongside her husband, John McVie. Nicks wondered whether Christine would welcome another woman into the band. Reflecting on this period in a 2019 interview with Rolling Stone, Nicks said, "At the beginning, people said, 'Does Christine want another girl in the band?' And I said, 'I hope she does. When she meets me, I hope she likes me.'" Fortunately, Christine McVie did like Stevie Nicks. The two women quickly formed a strong bond, realizing that their collaboration could bring a new dynamic to the band. They made a pact, as Nicks later recounted, "We will never be treated like second-class citizens. We will never be not allowed to hang out in a room full of intelligent, crazy rock and roll stars, because we're just as crazy and just as intelligent as they are." This mutual understanding and solidarity between Nicks and McVie laid a solid foundation for their partnership within Fleetwood Mac. The integration of Nicks and Buckingham into Fleetwood Mac was transformative for the band. The creative synergy and unique talents they brought were immediately apparent. The band's first album featuring the duo, simply titled Fleetwood Mac, was released in 1975. This album included two of Nicks's songs, Rhiannon and Landslide, both of which showcased her distinctive voice and songwriting prowess. Rhiannon quickly became one of the standout tracks on the album. Its mystical and haunting qualities, combined with Nicks's compelling stage presence, captivated audiences. Similarly, Landslide offered a more introspective and emotional narrative, resonating deeply with listeners. The success of these songs helped propel the album to commercial success, with 3 hits making it into the top 20 on the Billboard 200 list in 1976. This newfound success brought both recognition and validation to Nicks and Buckingham. Their contributions played a crucial role in revitalizing Fleetwood Mac and steering the band toward unprecedented heights of fame. The band's evolving sound, enriched by Nicks's ethereal voice and Buckingham's innovative guitar work, appealed to a broad audience and garnered critical acclaim. As Fleetwood Mac's fame soared to unprecedented heights, the personal lives of its members, particularly Lindsey Buckingham, Stevie Nicks, Christine McVie, and John McVie, began to unravel. Despite their professional success, the band members were grappling with significant personal issues that threatened their cohesion. Stevie Nicks was particularly embittered by the memories of the early days when she had to work as a waitress to support herself and Buckingham. This resentment was fueled by the fact that Buckingham had turned down lucrative $500 gigs at steakhouses, believing they were beneath him. Nicks longed for a more harmonious relationship within Fleetwood Mac. According to Billboard, she implored Buckingham, "You and I have to sew this relationship back up. We have too much to lose here. We need to put our problems behind us." Her plea underscored the gravity of their situation and her desire to prioritize the band's success over their personal conflicts. However, life within the band grew increasingly complicated. Christine McVie's marriage to John McVie was deteriorating, exacerbated by Christine's affair with a lighting director in 1976. Despite these personal struggles, Christine became a mentor to Nicks, offering guidance and support as the band worked on their next album, Rumours. This mentorship was crucial for Nicks, providing her with a sense of stability amid the chaos. The creation of Rumours was marked by intense emotional turmoil, which was reflected in the album's lyrics and themes. Simon Collins from the West Australian noted that the best songs and lyrics from Rumours were a clear prelude to the impending romantic breakups within the band. Buckingham's Secondhand News and Never Going Back Again poignantly expressed his heartache and resolve. Nicks's song Dreams contained the foreboding line, "Women, they will come and they will go," encapsulating the transient nature of relationships. Christine McVie's You Make Loving Fun was inspired by her affair, adding another layer of personal revelation to the album. Despite the personal strife, Rumours became a monumental success. It reached #1 on the Billboard 200 chart and won a Grammy for Album of the Year. The album's success brought the band international acclaim, but it also highlighted the growing rift among its members. As the album climbed the charts, the band members began to seek solace and love outside the group. Nicks herself became involved in an ill-fated affair with Mick Fleetwood, the band's drummer. This affair only added to the web of complicated relationships and emotional entanglements within the band. Although the members of Fleetwood Mac faced significant personal challenges and romantic breakups, they made a concerted effort to keep the band together. This commitment to their collective success, however, came with its own set of difficulties, particularly for Stevie Nicks. The relentless touring schedule began to take a severe toll on her vocal cords. A July 1977 concert review by New York Times writer John Rockwell highlighted this issue, revealing that Nicks had developed nodes on her vocal cords. The review noted that not only was her voice hoarse, but her mid-range notes were painfully shredded, which led to the cancellation of a few concerts. The impact of Nicks's vocal problems extended beyond her personal health. The quality of her voice during live performances began to draw negative reviews, affecting the band's reputation. As the frontwoman, Nicks's vocal issues were particularly detrimental, casting a shadow over Fleetwood Mac's live shows. Acknowledging the situation, Nicks publicly addressed her vocal problems in August 1977. According to Stevie Nicks Info, she stated, "The doctor has told me that my speaking voice is destroying my singing voice," explaining that her speaking voice aggravated the nodules on her vocal cords. To recuperate, Nicks took several measures, including refraining from talking, gargling, and taking face saunas. During this period, Fleetwood Mac took a break from their world tour, giving Nicks the necessary time to rest and recover. Despite these efforts, Nicks expressed a resigned determination, saying, "I just have to do the best I can do." John Rockwell's review also pointed to another issue. He observed that Nicks pushed her lackadaisical loopiness too far, suggesting that her onstage behavior was becoming more concerning than captivating. What Rockwell did not say outright, but what was becoming increasingly apparent, was that Nicks was struggling with substance abuse. She was now consuming a significant amount of drugs and alcohol, which exacerbated her vocal problems and contributed to the erratic behavior noticed by critics and fans alike. Stevie Nicks's newfound freedom in the late 1970s saw her embarking on a romance with Eagles's frontman Don Henley. Their relationship began during a tumultuous period in Nicks's life, filled with both professional triumphs and personal struggles. According to Smooth Radio, their romance was a significant chapter in her life, marking a period of both artistic collaboration and emotional complexity. Nicks's 1981 debut solo album, Belladonna, featured a duet with Henley on the track Leather and Lace. The song, with its tender and romantic lyrics, became a testament to their relationship. Despite the chemistry they shared in the studio, their relationship faced challenges. It was rumored that Henley wanted to marry Nicks, but the couple eventually parted ways. The pressures of their respective careers and personal issues likely contributed to their breakup. Years later, in a 1992 interview with Vox magazine, Nicks revealed a deeply personal aspect of her relationship with Henley. She disclosed that she had been pregnant by Henley, as well as 3 other men, but had chosen to terminate the pregnancies. "To give up 4 babies is to give up a lot that would be here now," she said. "So that bothers me a lot, and really breaks my heart." This candid admission highlighted the emotional toll that her choices had taken on her. Nicks's decision to not have children was driven by her commitment to her art. In a 2009 interview with the West Australian's Simon Collins, she elaborated on this decision, stating, "I chose purposely, my choice, to not be married or have children, so I could follow being a true artist." This choice underscored her dedication to her career and her desire to prioritize her music above all else. Henley had claimed that Nicks named the unborn child Sarah and that she wrote her 1979 song Sarah in tribute to the spirit of the child. However, Nicks refuted this claim. She explained, "Had I married Don and had that baby, and had she been a girl, I would have named her Sarah." But she clarified that the song Sarah was actually about Sarah Wrecker, who later married Mick Fleetwood, adding another layer of complexity to the band's interwoven relationships. Stevie Nicks' marriage to Kim Anderson is one of the more haunting and complex chapters of her life, deeply intertwined with profound grief and emotional turmoil. The story begins in 1983 when Nicks was grappling with the devastating illness of her close friend, Robin Snider. Robin, who had been a lifelong confidant and cherished friend, was diagnosed with leukemia and given only 3 months to live. Compounding the tragedy, Robin was pregnant at the time. The emotional strain on Nick was immense. In her interviews, she revealed the extent of her distress. During her visits to the hospital, she was struggling to cope with the overwhelming sadness and helplessness. Nicks admitted to VH1's Behind the Music that she was using cocaine heavily and drinking half a bottle of brandy before going to the hospital, a desperate attempt to numb the pain. Her substance abuse was a means to escape the reality of losing her friend and witnessing her suffering. Robin, aware of Nicks's state, asked her not to visit while high, a request Nicks struggled to honor. The death of Robin Snider, who passed away 2 days after the birth of her son, Matthew, marked a turning point for Nicks. The loss drove both Nicks and Robin's widowed husband, Kim Anderson, into a state of profound grief. In an attempt to find solace and manage their overwhelming emotions, Nicks suggested that she and Anderson marry. This decision was driven by a misguided belief that Robin would want her to take care of Matthew. Nicks reflected on this choice with deep regret, acknowledging that it was a completely ridiculous thing, born out of her chaotic emotional state. The marriage, intended as a way to provide stability for the newborn child, was fraught with complications from the outset. Nicks herself described the situation as crazy and confessed that the decision to marry was driven by a desperate need to make sense of the loss and find some semblance of order in the chaos. The marriage lasted only 3 months, a brief period that Nicks later viewed as a mistake, born out of intense grief and emotional instability. One poignant moment of clarity came when Nicks walked into Matthew's room and noticed that the cradle, which had previously been rocking, was now still. This simple observation struck her deeply, and she felt a sudden realization that it was time to end the marriage and step away from the situation. The stillness of the cradle symbolized the end of her illusion that the marriage could somehow fix or manage their grief. Despite the brief nature of the marriage and its tumultuous beginning, Nicks has maintained a connection with Matthew Anderson. The bond formed during that challenging time is a testament to her enduring commitment to her friend's memory and the child she once sought to protect. Nick's ongoing relationship with Matthew reflects a desire to provide support and maintain a connection to Robin's legacy, even though the marriage itself did not endure. In the early 1980s, Stevie Nicks found herself entangled in a destructive cycle of addiction. Her battles with cocaine were well documented, becoming a significant part of her public and personal life. Nicks's struggle with substance abuse began escalating around 1982, a period marked by intense creative output and equally intense personal turmoil. Her attempt to quit cocaine as early as 1982 was a pivotal moment in her life, but the struggle was far from over. During the filming of her epic music video for Gypsy, the pressures and temptations proved too strong, leading her to relapse. This period also saw Nicks adopting other unhealthy habits, notably chain-smoking cigarettes, which compounded her health issues. By 1986, the physical toll of her cocaine addiction became evident when she discovered that the drug had literally burned a hole in the septum of her nose. This revelation was a stark reminder of the severe impact of her addiction. Concern for Nick's well-being reached a critical point when her parents and friends intervened. Among those deeply worried was Tom Petty, a close friend of Nick's. Petty's concern was palpable, as he admitted in an interview with Rolling Stone, "If the phone did ring and they said, 'Stevie died,' I wouldn't have been surprised." This level of concern highlighted the gravity of Nicks's situation and the extent to which her addiction had taken over her life. In response to the mounting pressure and the deteriorating state of her health, Nicks checked into the Betty Ford Clinic in 1986. The decision to enter rehab was a significant step towards recovery, although the journey was far from easy. Her time at the clinic inspired several songs that reflected her experiences and struggles. From Fleetwood Mac's Tango in the Night album, released in 1987, came Welcome to the Room, Sarah, and When I See You Again, both of which touched on themes of addiction and recovery. Additionally, her solo album, The Other Side of the Mirror, 1989, featured I'm Doing the Best I Can, Escape from Berlin, a song that further explored her personal battles. Despite these efforts at recovery, Nicks's struggle with addiction continued. By the late 1980s, she had been prescribed Klonopin, a medication used to treat anxiety and panic disorders. Unfortunately, Nicks became addicted to Klonopin, adding another layer of complexity to her ongoing battle with substance abuse. This new addiction underscored the difficulties she faced in overcoming her previous drug problems and maintaining her health. Nicks's journey to recovery took another turn when she entered rehab for the final time in 1993. This period was marked by a renewed commitment to overcoming her addictions and reclaiming her health. Nicks's experiences with rehab and recovery were shared with her audience in a candid and poignant way. In a 2013 episode of Oprah Winfrey's Masterclass series, she offered practical advice based on her own experiences. She urged viewers to save your money for rehab, acknowledging the high costs and emphasizing the necessity of treatment for survival. Her advice reflected the harsh realities of dealing with addiction and the importance of seeking help. In 1990, Fleetwood Mac faced a significant setback with the release of Behind the Mask. The album marked the band's first real commercial disappointment, a departure from the string of successes they had enjoyed in the past. According to the Los Angeles Times, the period surrounding the album's release was marked by internal conflicts and shifting dynamics within the band. One of the most notable changes came in September 1990, when Stevie Nicks decided to leave Fleetwood Mac to focus on her solo career. The Fleetwood Mac UK website attributes her departure to a disagreement with Mick Fleetwood, who had reportedly blocked Nicks from using her song Silver Springs on her solo project, Time Space. This conflict was emblematic of the larger tensions within the band, which were exacerbated by the pressures of their recent failure and the complexities of their personal relationships. Upon leaving Fleetwood Mac, Nicks channeled her creative energy into her solo work. She compiled some of her biggest hits into the compilation album Time Space, which was released in 1991. The album was well received, resonating with fans and critics alike. This success was bolstered by a subsequent tour during 1991 and 1992, which solidified her status as a prominent solo artist and allowed her to connect with her audience on a new level. Despite her success as a solo artist, Nicks's connection to Fleetwood Mac was not entirely severed. In 1992, as the U.S. presidential campaign was heating up, Fleetwood Mac's hit song, Don't Stop, was chosen by presidential nominee Bill Clinton as a campaign anthem. The band's involvement in Clinton's campaign led to a brief reunion. Both Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham participated in a single concert at Clinton's inaugural ball in January 1993, marking a momentary return to their roots. However, after this event, Nicks and Buckingham returned to their individual projects, reflecting Nicks's dual passion for both solo work and band involvement. Nicks' departure from Fleetwood Mac was driven by her desire to pursue a solo career, but she remained open to the idea of reuniting with the band. In a 2011 interview with Rolling Stone, Nicks reflected on her career choices, stating, "I never wanted a solo career. I always wanted to be just in a band, but I just had so many songs." This statement underscores her deep-seated love for collaborative work and her simultaneous drive to express her solo creativity. The opportunity for a more permanent return came in 1997 with Fleetwood Mac's release of The Dance. This album marked the band's official return to the limelight with Nicks back in the fold. The success of The Dance not only revitalized the band's career, but also highlighted the continued synergy between Nicks and her bandmates. Despite her successful solo career, Nicks chose to remain an integral part of Fleetwood Mac, balancing her commitments to both her solo work and the band. In 1998, Stevie Nicks reflected on a pivotal moment from 1986 that significantly impacted her life and career. In an interview with People magazine, she recounted how a plastic surgeon had delivered a stark warning about her cocaine use. "If you want your nose to remain on your face, stop using cocaine right now." The severity of her addiction was underscored by another medical professional's caution that a single more snort could result in a brain hemorrhage. This harsh reality check was a wake-up call for Nicks, but the damage had already been done. By the late 1980s, Nicks had entered a cycle of rehabilitation and relapses, which significantly affected her physical appearance. Her weight climbed to 175 pounds, a change that was apparent during her performances, including those at President Bill Clinton's inaugural celebrations. The increased weight was a source of considerable distress for Nicks. After her 1994 tour, she reached a breaking point, contemplating giving up her career. She was deeply troubled by public commentary about her weight, which she felt overshadowed her talents and achievements. "I would never sing in front of people again," she resolved, "because I couldn't handle people talking about how fat I was." Singing was her passion, and the idea of abandoning it due to her appearance was a painful consideration. Nicks' health issues extended beyond the physical. She was diagnosed with Epstein-Barr virus, a condition that contributed to her chronic fatigue and further complicated her recovery. The virus, known for causing severe exhaustion, compounded her struggles and made the road to recovery even more challenging. The scrutiny over her weight did not go unnoticed in the broader music world. University students Marceline and Carol L. Thompson even analyzed the impact of Nicks's physical appearance on her popularity. Their paper suggested that her increasing weight contributed to a decline in her album sales during the early 1990s. They theorized that the once ethereal, fairy-like image that had endeared her to fans was no longer relatable, leading to a diminished connection with her audience. This perception of her changing image was a significant blow to Nicks, who had always been closely associated with a certain aesthetic and persona. The decline in her album sales and the public's reaction motivated Nicks to take decisive action. Determined to reclaim her career and well-being, She embarked on a rigorous weight loss regimen in 1995. Adopting a high-protein, low-carb diet, she managed to shed 30 pounds, a change that was both physical and symbolic of her renewed commitment to her health and career. This transformation was not merely about weight, but also about regaining control over her life and self-image. Since 1977, Nicks has accumulated significant accolades with Fleetwood Mac. According to the Grammys website, she has won 2 Grammy Awards as part of the band and has been nominated for a Grammy an astounding 14 times. In addition, 2 of her recordings have been inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame, underscoring their lasting influence and excellence. Despite her contributions to Fleetwood Mac, Nicks has yet to receive a Grammy for her solo work, highlighting the sometimes elusive nature of solo recognition in the music industry. Her solo career has been equally notable. Nicks' debut solo album, Belladonna, released in 1981, has sold over 5 million copies in the U.S. alone, demonstrating its commercial success and enduring popularity. In that same year, Rolling Stone honored Nicks with the title of the reigning queen of rock and roll, and included her in the list of the 100 greatest singers of all time. This recognition highlighted her vocal prowess and her significant influence on the genre. Nicks's subsequent albums also achieved substantial commercial success. The Wild Heart, 1983, Rock a Little, 1985, and The Other Side of the Mirror, 1989, each went platinum, solidifying her status as a major solo artist. Collectively, her solo albums and her work with Fleetwood Mac have resulted in over 140 million records sold worldwide, a staggering figure that speaks to her widespread appeal and enduring legacy. Beyond her musical achievements, Nicks has made significant contributions through philanthropic efforts. In 2006, she established the Stevie Nicks Soldiers Angel Foundation. This organization was created to support soldiers by providing them with iPods loaded with music to aid in their healing process. Nicks's inspiration for this foundation came from her visits to wounded soldiers, where she saw firsthand the positive impact music could have on their recovery. In 2011, she even wrote a song about the foundation, further demonstrating her commitment to this cause. In recognition of her charitable work, Nicks received the Outstanding Achievement Award from the USO in 2015. This honor celebrated her efforts in supporting soldiers and her dedication to using her platform to make a positive difference. The award, presented in the presence of USO officials and Fleetwood Mac's Mick Fleetwood, was a testament to her significant contributions beyond the music industry. In 2019, she added another monumental achievement to her storied career. She was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for the second time, marking a historic milestone as no other woman in music history has achieved this honor. Her first induction was in 1998 with Fleetwood Mac, a band she significantly shaped and transformed. The second induction celebrated her solo career, underscoring her exceptional impact on the music industry as an individual artist. The 2019 induction ceremony was particularly notable for its personal touch. Nicks was inducted by Harry Styles, a musician she holds in high regard. In an interview with Rolling Stone, Nicks referred to Styles as the son I never had, highlighting the deep admiration and affection she feels for him. This gesture not only underscored the mutual respect between the two artists, but also marked a poignant moment in Nicks's career, showcasing the supportive and interconnected nature of the music industry. Nicks' impressive career has brought her considerable financial success as well. According to The Richest, her net worth is estimated at $75 million. This wealth reflects her enduring popularity and the financial rewards of her extensive career, spanning both her solo endeavors and her work with Fleetwood Mac. Her success is not only measured in monetary terms, but also in the enduring loyalty of her fans and the respect of her peers. Despite her significant achievements, Nicks has expressed a few personal regrets. One notable regret is that she never had the opportunity to meet the late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Nicks admired Ginsburg deeply, for her contributions to gender equality and justice. On Facebook, Nicks shared her heartfelt wish to have met Ginsburg, expressing a desire to hold her hand and give her a huge hug, and to thank her for her monumental impact on women's rights. In a touching tribute, Nicks honored Ginsburg in her own way. She wrote, "She was a political rock star. As a two-time Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee, the first female to be inducted twice, compared to 22 men having been inducted twice, I, Stevie Nicks, induct Ruth Bader Ginsburg into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame of Life." This sentiment captures the profound respect Nicks had for Ginsburg and her acknowledgement of the justice's remarkable legacy. Nicks's career continues to thrive as she remains active in performing and touring. Her 24-karat gold The Concert Tour was well received and was later made into a film, further solidifying her status as an enduring icon in rock music. Her ability to adapt and continue performing at a high level, despite the challenges she has faced, speaks to her dedication and passion for her craft. What do you think about the tragic life of Stevie Nicks? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this, and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.